With the Black Sea DLC that released today, we got some new factions. We got Pergamon, we got Massilia, we got Colchis, we got Chimeria, but there were also some balancing changes done, and I want to talk about them in this preview video. So I've had a chance to test the changes in a few battles, and some of them are quite interesting. I'll just start at the top. The foot companions have had their armor increased, which is a welcome addition to them. For the Dacian kingdom, we have seen an increase in melee attack for these three units, the Thracian bows, Thracian slingers and Thracian skirmishers, but nothing really major. For Carthage, the noble cavalry has been made slightly less useless with an increase in charge bonus, which now brings them up to a respectable level of a 63 charge bonus. The different longbows in the game have had their increased damage, but they have a slower rate of fire. So let's have a look at the Suebi Cimbri bowwomen, for example, or maybe the Germanic. Yeah, there we go. The Germanic longbow hunters now have 5 shots per minute, but they do 40 missile damage, so that's a pretty welcome change for them. The first cohort and the Eagle cohort don't get a lot of love in multiplayer. I don't think having extra health is going to help them a lot there. Now they have 60 health, and the Eagle cohort has 60 health. So the square is removed from your noble spearmen and for your Persian hoplites, but instead they have a hoplite wall, which should make them better in infantry engagements. The range of Nubian bows for Egypt has been increased to 150, which gives Egypt a pretty nice bow unit that is cheap and that has good range. So that's a nice change for Egypt. The Egyptian cavalry now has pretty decent stats. It has had its price increased up to 600, but its health, attack and melee defense has increased. So now it has 45 melee attack, it has 38 melee defense, 80 health and 50 armor. So this is a unit that we will potentially see a bit more of. The Thureos spears have had their health increased by 5, so now they have 50 health. Let's see here. And we also have the Carian axemen have the same javelins as the Thureos spears now. The mercenary leopard warriors have had their health increased. They have also had their attack and armor increased as well, but they still are very expensive for what they can do. The morale and armor of camel spears is increased, so now they have 25 armor and 40 base morale. Still a pretty fragile unit. The morale of camel archers is increased, so still very fragile and prone to routing. The attack and charge bonus is increased for the Agranian axemen, so now we are back to Macedon and Epirus. The Agranian axemen now have a melee attack of 30, and they've had their charge increased up to 27, so that's pretty nice actually. The Thessalian cavalry have had their armor increased to 40, and the armor charge and melee defense of Etruscan hoplites has increased. So the Etruscan hoplites for Epirus, let's find them here, are now, the stats are pretty damn good. They have 65 health, and they have a charge bonus now of 24, so pretty nice changes there. The morale and health of elite Persian archers, let's see here, Parthia. The morale and health of elite Persian archers is increased, so now they have 50 morale and 55 health, should make them rout less easily. The Hippias lancers for Athens, let's see, Athens and other factions, they have had their weapon damage increase, so they now do 12 armor piercing as well, because they have the elite lance. Light hoplites have had their morale increased to be on line with the militia hoplites, so now it's 45. The health of heroes of Sparta has been increased, and now the heroes of Sparta have 75 health, but they still have a worse spear than the than the Royal Spartans, because the Royal Spartans have 30 damage with 8 armor piercing, while the Heroes of Sparta have 29 with only 5 armor piercing. The Gallic Hunters have 150 range now, which makes them much more useful in the sniping role, because they can fire and still stay hidden if the units are far enough away, and now they are far enough away that they can do it. The Celtic Skirmishers have had a health increase up to 50, which makes them a bit more durable, and the melee attack, charge bonus and melee defense of Celtiberian Cavalry for the Aravaci is increased, so now the Celtiberian Cavalry is slightly better, with 40 melee attack and a 44 charge bonus, which is very respectable. And the melee attack and charge bonus of Iberian Nobles is increased as well, Iberian Noble Cavalry, so now they have 49 charge bonus, and they have a melee attack of 55, so they are pretty nice now. The Cantabrian Cavalry have been given higher damage javelins, so now they do elite javelin damage of 41, and this makes them more useful than they were. The veteran riders of, I guess that is Iceni. Yep, the veteran riders have had their armor increased to 45, slightly more durable. The horse runners of Suebi, let's see, here we go. The horse runners of Suebi have had their health increased to 50. The armor of Bloodsorn is increased as well, so now the Bloodsorn have 20 damage, 20 armor, not 10. And the Club Levy have 40 armor, so pretty nice buff there. The armor and the morale of the Spear Wall is increased, so now the Spear Wall has 60 armor, and they have 55 morale, so this makes the Spear Wall very, very durable now. They were durable before, but now they're even more durable. The morale and melee defense of Night Hunters has been increased, so now they have 58 melee defense and 55 morale. The Dacian Heavy Bowman has had a pretty interesting increase for the Getae, and this makes the Getae a lot stronger in skirmishing. So these guys now have 150 range, which is a bargain for their price. With 30 armor and 150 range, only 440, this makes the Dacian Heavy Bowmen extremely good skirmishers. And the health and melee attack of the Dacian Heavy Skirmishers has been increased, so now they have a melee attack of 26 and 50 health, so pretty good. The armor of the Thracian Peltasts, or the Mercenary Thracian Peltasts, is increased to 30 from 15. And the morale of Thracian warriors is increased. So we have, for the Odrysian Kingdom, we have Thracian warriors, they now have 45 morale. And for the tribal warriors of Tylis, we have increased health, so they now have 60 health, but they are a bit slower. They are heavy melee infantry, but they reduce their speed. Then the morale and defense of Illyrian Cavalry is increased, but their price has also increased from 440 to 460, so now they have 45 morale and 75 health. The Parthian Foot Archers have had their morale increased, so let's see, Persia, Parthia, we now have 35 morale for them. The shield type of Scythian Royal Skirmishers and Sarmatian Horse. So for Royal Scythia we have the Scythian Royal Skirmishers and the Scythian Sarmatian Horsemen. So these are the Scythian Royal Skirmishers. They have had a shield that has better armor. And then the Sarmatian Horsemen, I believe that is Roxolani. Yep, they have 60 armor now because they got better shields, so that's a pretty nice change. The armor and health of Sarmatian Royal Lancers has been increased, so now they have 90 armor, 110 health, which puts them on the level of your Eastern Cataphracts, but with a better charge bonus, but not trample. And now we're getting to a very interesting change in the patch. That is for the chariots. The chariots have had their mass decreased, and this was something that I really wanted to see. And the reduced mass of chariots now means that most units in Spear Wall, or I don't know if you saw that video, but I made a video where I complained a bit and critiqued a bit how the Scythe Chariot works, because they can potentially punch through a lot of shield walls and a lot of spear walls, but now they are going to get stopped by even swords in shield walls, so that's a pretty welcome change. We should see chariots become a lot less overpowered than they were. The mass of elephants has been increased, and together with that comes a little ninja increase in health. So now they have 1205 health, and I have seen elephants in this patch take all the ammunition from peltasts and not die. So the elephant, still alive, not running amok, will run amok to flaming javelins, but won't just die to all the javelins from peltast unit with 32 damage. The Indian war elephants have had their health increased to 1005, and the African war elephants have had their health increased to 910. The African, and that's the same for both basically the same for both the African war and for the African elephants. And the mass of elephants is also increased, so elephants will potentially be able to knock back infantry a lot better. The attack of Britain's scout riders for Iceni has been increased to 38, and another nice change is that they have reduced the attack of, let's see, Rome. They have reduced the attack of Hastati to 35, and this change enables Celtic warriors to do very well against Hastati on the charge. They're going to be able to grind it out, and they're going to be able to win against Hastati on the charge now, if they get a good charge, so that's pretty nice. The Persian hoplites have had hoplite wall added. The rapid advance for Gorgo skirmishers is replaced with rapid reload. Mighty Horse gets frenzy charge, which is going to make it devastating on the charge. The Illyrian cavalry is slightly less useless with frenzy charge. Noble spears have the hoplite wall, and Drago, and I assume that's supposed to be Draco, is added to Saka noble armored lancers. So they are going to reduce the enemy's effectiveness against them, and they're going to get the bonus against elephants. All camel units have gained a resistance to fatigue, so they will potentially be able to move around more and retain their stats even though they are being fatigued. And for costs and caps, we have had an increase in the price of your Thureos hoplites. We've seen a decrease to 600, so 20 decrease there. Illyrian Thureos spears have had their price increased, so it says that the Illyrian Thureos spears cost increased to 380, but there are some bugs here because it's not supposed to be 560, it's supposed to be 350, and we'll get to that because there are several other bugs in this patch that I would like to mention. And for Athens, we have had an increase in price of Thureos spears to 560. The Riders of the Hunt for Sweby have had their cost decreased to 570, which is nice. Mercenary Rhodian Slingers now cost 590 instead of 600. Evocati cohort costs 890 instead of 880, so not a huge change for the Evocati. Step Archers, their cost is increased to 330. Triarii cost is decreased to 790. The Nubian bows, Hippeus lancers, Dacian heavy bows, mercenary Thracian warriors, and Illyrian cavalry cost has been increased. So, I believe the Hippeus were increased by 40. The Dacian heavy bowmen, let's have a look at them. They were increased by, well, I don't remember their price before, but they're still pretty cheap. Egyptian cavalry now cost 600 and is better. The Celtic warhounds cost less. They cost 50 less, so 450. And the custom multiplayer battle cap of mercenary axe warriors is 4, so now you can bring 4 of these mercenary axe warriors. And another interesting change is that for Macedon and Athens, you can now bring your mercenary Thracian warriors, 3 of those. For Epirus, you have your mercenary Samnites, the tanky sword units. Mercenary Samnites, max 3. The mercenary Italian cavalry is added to Syracuse. So Syracuse have mercenary Italian cavalry. And Galatia has had some pretty nice changes to their roster, because Galatia can now recruit and use in multiplayer battles Mercenary Cappadocian Cavalry, Mercenary Skirmisher Cavalry with 41 damage, and Mercenary Syrian Archers, which is going to increase their skirmishing power quite a bit. And the Nervii have also had some nice changes. They have seen some attack increases to their fierce swords. They have also had some added some mercenary Germanic scout riders, so now they have javelin cavalry, which is going to be pretty useful for them. The Dacian kingdom has got another hoplite option. They have the mercenary veteran hoplites. So as the Dacian kingdom, you can now potentially bring 5 hoplites. For Tylis, their mercenaries have been swapped from Dacian to Celtic units, and I guess that is... I don't really see the change here, so maybe that is a change that is mostly either not implemented, or because they have Celtic units already, so maybe that's a change that is implemented in the campaign. I'm not really sure. Now, a pretty funny thing for Pontus, as if their cavalry wasn't good enough before, now they have they should have mercenary Cappadocians according to these patch notes, but they don't. But another funny thing is that they have naked swords that cost 380. Now, if we compare those to the naked swords of comparable factions, let's see here, those are naked warriors. Let's see who has the naked swords. Let's see, Galatia, they should be 480, and for Pontus they are 380, so I think that's a small bug. And mercenary Amazonian riders has been added to Roxolani and Masagetai, so now Masagetai have 150 range archers, and so does the Roxolani, which is going to help them out quite a bit. So that's it for the main patch notes. I will list the bugs in the comments of this video, and I will do a review and a preview of the factions added in the next video I'm making. So overall, I think these changes are pretty good, aside from the bugs in the prices and some of the units that are missing. But overall, some pretty interesting changes, and I'm very anxious to see how this is going to change how people use their armies in multiplayer, because chariots are far less reliable infantry killers than they were. And some factions have gotten some nice actions, some nice additions that is going to have to change how we approach them, because now you can have your... If you have a mid-tier Athens rush, for example, now you have to think about your mercenary Thracian warriors. And for the Dacian kingdom, all of a sudden you have a solid core of hoplites to think about. And elephants have had their mass increased, so it's going to be potentially more difficult to counter them. And like I said, I've played a few battles now, and it certainly seems that elephants are a lot harder to kill. They will tank it out to a significant degree. But anyway, we will look at the new factions in the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the battlefield.